Okay, here's a video of the game that I played yesterday night in at the chess club where I go every Wednesday night. We play a championship, and that's every Wednesday night, and in total there are about 35 rounds, and after those 35 rounds, the last round will be somewhere in May or June 2008. After all those rounds, the one in the first place is the champion of the club. At the moment I am at place, I think 6 or 8, something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but anyway, I'll show you the game because I want to make a video of every game I play at this competition, because it helps me to analyze my own games, and I like it when I get some reactions from you on YouTube. Okay, this is a Queen's Gambit, and I chose to play a variation that is the variation with bishop f4, putting the bishop on this diagonal looking at c7. There are of course more options here. There are actually two main moves that are played. One is e3, that's very solid, but I don't like it very much because this bishop is often, well, a problem in the sense that how to develop it. Some people play it later to d2, and some other people play b3 and then put it on b2. But I decided to bring the bishop out of the pawn chain immediately. Another option is to play bishop g5. But anyway, I brought it to f4. Knight d7, e3. Now that the bishop is out of the pawn chain, I can play e3. And I can play e3, by the way, because eventually a move like knight to h5 now, I can play then bishop g5, and that's the reason why after e3 my opponent plays bishop e7, and actually now he threatens knight to h5, because then I will not have bishop to g5. That's why I played in this position h3. The idea is if he plays knight to h5, I can hide my bishop on h2 still in this beautiful diagonal, and his knight on h5 will not be doing much. So that's the reason why I played here h3. Castles, rook c1. The idea is that to delay the development of my bishop, in case he takes on c4, then I can take at once on c4. Otherwise it will cost me one tempo if I move it first and then take on c4. And black was aware of that, played rook e8, and now I don't have any good development move, so other than moving the bishop from f1, so I played bishop d3, and then it took on c4. Bishop takes c4. This idea we see very much in the Queen's Indian, that black waits to take on c4 until white has moved the bishop, so white loses some time. b5, attacking the bishop, and there is here now a weakness on c6, so, and my rook is on c1, so that's the first thing that I noticed. I played my bishop to d3, and now he played a6, and the idea of a6 is to defend b5, so then the c6 pawn can be played to c5. So actually playing a6 is a way of getting rid of this weakness on c6. I castled, and now he played c5. I didn't want him to play c4, so I took on c5. He took back with the knight, and I went with my bishop from d3 to b1, still on this long diagonal where I want to keep it. Bishop b7. Now this bishop is often a difficult piece in this variation for black, because of this pawn on e6, then it's difficult to develop the bishop, but now he found a very good way of placing him here on this long diagonal. Now actually I should have been more careful. I underestimated b4, so I played my queen to e2 with the idea of putting my rook on d1, attacking his queen. but he could have played before here, and that would have been good for black, because I don't have really good places to go with my knight, so knight d1 would be almost the only option, and then it's very difficult to keep developing. But fortunately for me, after I played queen to e2, he was afraid of the threat, so he went with the queen to b6, and now I realized that I had to do something against b4, so I played a3. Now he went with this a rook to d8, and then there is the first tactical motive that arises, and that is that if my bishop goes to c7 and is defended, then I can win the exchange by attacking these two pieces. But I cannot do it immediately because, of course, the bishop can be taken. So I played b4 to clear the c-file, and he made a mistake here. I wasn't afraid, by the way, of knight to b3, because then I wanted to play my rook to d1, and then this knight has no way to return. So it looks strong on b3, but it's I don't think it's that bad for me. What he should have done is play the knight to d7, but it doesn't look beautiful. And he played the most natural move, and that is playing the knight to e4. But now this tactical motive arises again. I took on e4. Now the c line is clear, so later I can play bishop c7. I took again. He took again on e4, and now I played bishop c7, winning the exchange. And now, actually, the game is almost decided. He played a little longer because there were still some little tricks that he could try. For example, here, of course, I must not take with the rook on d1, because then he can play knight c3. So I have to take with the queen. He played h6, and now I played queen c2. My idea is to exchange queens by giving a check on c8. Simplify the position because I have more material, so I can win the ending easily. He played queen d5, and I went to d1 with my queen. Now he played queen c4, offering the trade of queens, and in return he gets a passed pawn on the c line. And here I thought about 5 minutes, because I thought, okay, what's the easiest way to win this? One way would be to play rook d7, and after the bishop goes away, put the rook on a7. But I didn't like the idea of leaving this c-pawn alive. So what I did is, instead of rook d7, I played knight to d2, and thus this was the safest way to win. If he takes on d2, my plan was to take back, and after c3, rook to c2. If he places his bishop on f6, then I will walk with my king to f1, e2, d3, and then I will take on c3. If he takes back with the bishop, I'll take the bishop with my king, and I'll have a pawn ending without pieces, only kings and pawns, and I have one pawn more on this side. So that would be a one pawn ending for me. So that's the easiest way to win. Simplify the position. Even if I give some material back, no problem, because the pawn ending is one for me. But well, he didn't take on d2. He played his last trick, knight to c3, in the hope that I would play rook c1, and then he could fork here and win a rook. But of course, I had seen that, so I played my rook to e1, and he resigned in this position. So that's the game that I played yesterday, and well, it's not a very exciting game, and that's actually because of this sudden blunder in this position where he played knight e4 and allowed me to win the exchange, and then simply simplify the position towards a one ending. Okay, that's it. I'm planning to make a video of each game I play every Wednesday night, because it helps me to analyze my own games and learn from them. Okay, I hope you like the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.